Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. So just going to give you some breaking news on Paul Pogba. So according to recent reports, Paul Pogba is refusing to sign a new contract with Manchester United. Main explanation is because he's waiting for an offer from Juventus. So Paul Pogba could still possibly leave the football club next year. Now, as it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Now, as it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. Now, obviously, a few weeks ago, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, had confirmed that Paul Pogba is staying at Manchester United, and it said he will hold talks over a new contract. Now, a few weeks before the end of last season, he said that Pogba was close to signing a 5-year contract with Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano, he also said quite a few weeks ago now that Paul Pogba is happy at Manchester United, and he said he wants to stay at Manchester United. Now, obviously, towards the end of last season, Paul Pogba was absolutely exceptional, and I think his partnership with Bruno Fernandes is fantastic. And I thought in some of our Europa League games, he did quite well. Now, for the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on Pogba because he was out with that ankle injury. He sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. And Paul Pogba has made over 100 appearances for the club since he rejoined, and he has so far won the Europa League and the League Cup with Man United. Now, around this time last year, Paul Pogba had made an admission saying that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge, and he even publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. You know, he was relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. He was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, and I think earlier on this year about his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane. You know, obviously swap deals have been high on the agenda as well. You know, it says before that Real Madrid were trying to sacrifice a few of their players to get Pogba. You know, Juventus, they've been in the process of trying to sacrifice a few of their players to get Pogba. You know, PSG have been in for him before, and so too have Barcelona, and so too have Inter Milan. Obviously, Paul Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but obviously all our top players endured a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. Don't forget, we had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go on a free due to limited appearances. And I think now Paul Pogba's 27 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. I think it's very imperative that Man United do keep him at the football club because we're going to find it extremely difficult to get a replacement of his calibre. So it was looking like Pogba was going to stay, but there's still a possibility chance he could leave. But if he was to leave Man United, I think he would go back to Juventus. Obviously, his agent, Mini Raiola, we was very, very critical of him earlier on this year because he publicly criticised Ole Gunnar Solsjaer and Manchester United. But he has been in the process, at least in the last couple of years, of trying to get his client a transfer away from Man United completed. So, there you go. Now, I just want to give you a bit more news on Sergio Reguilon from Real Madrid. Now, reportedly, Sergio Reguilon has been offered to Manchester United. Like I updated you on the video that I did this morning, it says Manchester United may have to settle for a loan deal for the player because Real Madrid have not yet decided if they are selling Sergio Reguilon. Now, it did mention that Real Madrid want 2 clauses in the Sergio Reguilon deal, and that is like a 25% sell-on clause plus an option to buy. Now, Fabrizio Romano, he's also spoken about this saga. He has confirmed that Man United have not yet put a bid in for Sergio Reguilon, but he says he has been offered 2 clubs. AS, which is a Spanish outlet, they recently said that we put a £27 million bid in for the player. Real Madrid value him in the £20 million range. It said he could go for as little as £22 million in this summer transfer window. Sergio Reguilon is a left back. I think it would be beneficial, to be honest with you, if Manchester United got a left back in. We have got 2 predominant left backs at the moment, and that's obviously Luke Shaw. He's our first choice left back. And we've obviously got Brandon Williams. He's our backup left back. Sergio Reguilon is 23 years of age, so still very, very young. He has got a contract with Real Madrid until 2023. He has been at Real Madrid for several years. He joined their youth setup in 2005. He was in their youth setup for several years. I think he was playing. I think it was 2018 when he got into Real Madrid's first team. Don't forget, he was on loan with Sevilla last season. I think Sevilla are keen on getting him permanently or getting him on loan again for another season. Very, very good he was at Sevilla. He also had loan spells with Logroñés. I think he'll leave Real Madrid because obviously Zinedine Zidane prefers Ferland Mendy and Marcelo over Sergio Reguilon. So could he possibly be our second signing in this summer transfer window? So that's the news on him. Now, I just want to give you a bit of news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So, Jadon Sancho has come out and said that he is ignoring the speculation regarding his future, and he insists that he's concentrating on Borussia Dortmund. Now, Borussia Dortmund are very, very convinced that Sancho will stay for at least one more season. There was reports coming out yesterday saying that Manchester United are prepared to walk away from the Jadon Sancho deal, because obviously Borussia Dortmund are refusing to lower their valuation. Borussia Dortmund's valuation is around £108 million. Dortmund have been looking for like £90 million up front, but obviously we're not willing to meet their valuation. I think it said we're only willing to pay like £60 or £70 million up front. But throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Now, it mentioned a few weeks ago that Sancho has agreed personal terms with Man United, and it said he was set to sign a 5-year contract with the football club. I think also too the wage demands seem to be a stumbling block. I think we are planning to put a new bid in for Sancho, so this Sancho saga now I think is at the final stage. But we're set to finalise the fees and the salary of Jadon Sancho's agent before we submit this bid. But we have confirmed we are not giving up on the player unless he publicly says that he wants to stay at Borussia Dortmund. He said a few weeks ago that we had abandoned our chase for Sancho, and until the summer of 2021, which is obviously next summer. But Sancho has said quite a few times that he wants to come to Manchester United. I've outlined the reasons why I want him at Manchester United is because he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. He's predominantly a right winger. Man United are in search for the right winger. He's got very good physical attributes, and he just will dramatically improve us, and he's still very, very young. I still think that Sancho is only the age of 20. But a few weeks ago, Jadon Sancho to Man United did look dead in the water because, like I've said before, you had Borussia Dortmund's CEO, sporting director, and another one of their directors saying that Sancho is staying at Dortmund. Don't forget, we missed out on the deadline to sign him because Dortmund said we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho decided to go out on pre-season. Obviously, Sancho has endured 3 years with Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City. So Dortmund got him for next to nothing. The main explanation why Sancho left Manchester City is because he did not get assured any first team opportunities. Before he was at City, he was at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. That's where he began his footballing career. But if Sancho is sold in this summer transfer window, it will be good from a Manchester City perspective because they'll get around 15% of the transfer fee due to the clause that got him his move from City to Dortmund in 2017. But yeah, I think Sancho is still under contract with Dortmund until 2022. We know that obviously he will be our next 7 if he comes in, because obviously we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, and we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. But we have been looking at a lot of alternatives to Sancho in recent weeks, because I will admit, these much cheaper solutions than him. Obviously, we've been looking at the likes of Douglas Costa from Juventus. We've looked at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. We've looked at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. We've looked at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. We've looked at quite a lot of alternatives. Dortmund have let quite a few of their big players go in recent years. A lot of them have gone to the Premier League. Don't forget they let Pulisic go, they let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang go, they let Gundogan go, they let Mkhitaryan go, they let Shinji Kagawa go at one point. Don't forget they let Ousmane Dembele go. They let Matt Hummels go, they let Robert Lewandowski go. But to be fair, They've bought quite a few players in recent years. They brought Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham in. They're 2 players that we missed out on. They brought likes of Julian Brandt and Thorgan Hazard in, also to Emre Can. But Jadon Sancho was our number 1 priority target for a while, but I do believe that we have been in for him for like the last 3 years. So that's the news on Sancho. Obviously, on my recent video, I give you the news on Thiago Alcantara from Bayern Munich. As you all know, Fabrizio Romano has said that the Thiago Alcantara transfer saga has begun. Obviously, Man United and Liverpool are battling it out for his signature, but I'm almost certain he will leave Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich are willing to let him go. But on the other side of things, he says he could end up staying at Bayern Munich because he recently spoken on his future. Just want to give you a bit of news now on Ole Gunnar Solsjaer. Ole Gunnar Solsjaer has expressed his frustration to club chefs this week, reflecting on the lack of transfer business in this summer transfer window. Now, obviously, we have made our first signing of this summer transfer window. We recently signed Donny van de Beek from Ajax. We got him in a deal worth around £39 million. Obviously, we paid just over £34 million for him up front, and there's obviously like 4.4 million in add-ons. Obviously, Donny van de Beek has signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United. There's also an option of a further year. And Donny van de Beek did play for the Netherlands yesterday in their game against Poland. Last Monday, he completed his medical in the Netherlands. But yeah, Donny van de Beek, he'll complement Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba fantastically well in our midfield. And I think he's the perfect fit for Manchester United. Obviously, we know that he's going to be wearing the number 34 shirt. That's been confirmed. He's going to become the 13th Dutch player to represent Man United. And he will be making his debut, I presume, against Crystal Palace on the opening day of the season. But he is a very, very good signing, he's Donny van de Beek. But, Man United need more than him. Solskjaer said, he's looking to make 3 more signings after Donny van de Beek. You can see that Solskjaer's trying to change the culture of the club, and obviously he's trying to bring the right calibre players in so we can get back being competitive and we can get back up there, challenging for titles and all of that. But Solskjaer did recently promise Ed Woodward that he will not make the same mistake as Jose Mourinho made. and he's given Ed Woodward some transfer advice to sort some of the mess out that Jose Mourinho had created at the club. Obviously, Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United, did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at the club. Obviously, you know as well, Mourinho recommended 11 players into Man United and spent 400 million, or was it just under 400 million pounds? But I give you the main explanations why it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players. Basically, you know, the board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend into the football club. And I was saying the other week, you know, Solskjaer's been in a similar situation to what Jose Mourinho was in. He's been he's been in a similar situation and that. But, you know, like I said to you, know, Man United have been beginning to lose a lot of patience with the board. Obviously, there's explanations behind it. You know, Fletcher now, Paul, our recruitment policy's been for several years. Like I've mentioned, you know, we've also overpaid for players. But, you know, Woodward has been at the football club since 2012 and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. And don't forget, Ed Woodward did say that, you know, he's determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He said it a few times and he assured last season that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. And the Glazers said, you know, they're determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, obviously, there's been some good signings that have been made so far in this summer transfer window. Obviously, you know, Chelsea, without a shadow of a doubt, they've done the best business. You know, obviously they've brought players like Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Malang Sarr, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell. Now they're trying to get Declan Rice. Chelsea, I think, also need a keeper to replace Kepa Arrizabalaga. So Chelsea could be in there with a shout for this season. Liverpool, they've only signed one player at the moment, Tsitsipas from Olympiacos. City, they've signed Ferran Torres from Valencia and Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. Tottenham, they've made a few signings. You know, they got Holberg in, Joe Hart, Doherty. I've heard that they've got Callum Wilson, or it's close if it isn't official as yet. You know, Arsenal, they recently signed Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille. And they got Willian on A3. So, yeah. You know, some teams are doing very, very good recruitment. But, you know, this summer transfer window, Solskjaer's fourth transfer window as Man United manager. And Solskjaer publicly admitted that Man United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window if we are to compete with the likes of City, Liverpool, and you can perhaps say Chelsea now. You know what I'm saying? I think Solskjaer does deserve to be backed. But at the end of last season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer outlined his transfer plans. You know, he instructed our board, you know, to go and get to go get the players that he wants and to spend a substantial amount. Obviously, so far, Solskjaer spent just over £200 million at Manchester United. Last summer, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes and he brought Odin Igalo in on loan. And recently brought Donny van der Beek in. And, you know, he's brought a few academy players into the football club. So it's good that he's brought some young players in. You know, we have got a lot of good young players coming through at Manchester United. You know. But like I said, you know, Solskjaer's got decisions to make at Manchester United. You know, he hasn't only got to decide on, you know, what players he's going to recommend in this summer transfer window. He's also got to decide on, you know, what players he's going to get rid of. And we could get rid of up to at least 8 players in this summer transfer window. You know, we're looking to get rid of the likes of Jesse Lingard, Andres Pereira. We're looking to get rid of Smalling, Rojo, Jones, Delors. You know, Bay and Lindelof's futures are uncertain at the club, but I think they will remain at Man United for another season. Mata, I think he'll remain at Man United for another season. You know, Matic, he will remain at Man United at least for another season. Like I said, you know, Sergio Romero, he's open to leaving the football club. Like I said, Solskjaer must put Dean Henderson as number 1 this season because I think now Dean Henderson is reliable enough to become our number 1 goalkeeper. So Solskjaer did say during our Europa League campaign that he is facing a goalkeeping dilemma. Solskjaer's already made his decision on Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire will keep the captain's armband for this season. This season's going to be Harry Maguire's second season at Man United. Don't forget he was recently given extra time off, reflecting on his arrest in Greece and his court case in Greece. But like I've said to you, I've definitely seen improvements under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Like I said, our recruitment's improved under him. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood, which is very, very good. I think last season Solskjaer promoted the youth very, very well. His approach to a lot of the big games last season were also very, very good. But don't get me wrong, there's still improvements needed at Man United. I still think there's aspects of our game that I've got to improve. There's still certain players that I've got to step up to the plate. Solskjaer's decision making's also got to improve at the football club. So still improvements needed. But don't forget, we are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. We haven't lost since January in the league. And we did go out on the 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions, don't forget, until Chelsea had beaten us in the FA Cup semi-final. Now, I don't know if Solskjaer is the right manager for Man United, and I don't know if he is the foreseeable future for the football club. I think this season he's going to tell the story if he is the right manager for Man United. Like I said to you, it's very, very imperative that we do have a strong start to this season. It really, really is. Not long now till the season starts, but if everything was to go wrong at the first part of this season, and I think Solskjaer will be back under pressure. He really, really will. This season's a big test for Solskjaer because this season is his second full season at the football club. Obviously last season was his first full season at the football club, and to be fair, last season he did exceed most expectations. I think in total at the moment Solskjaer's been at Manchester United is at around 20 months, including the 3 months when he was the interim manager. But I think we'll be expected to challenge for the title this season. That's, depending on how many signings we make. I did say for us to possibly win the title under Solskjaer, we probably need to make at least 5 signings in this summer transfer window. Also, very imperative that we keep our imperative players at the football club and that. But I think we're still quite away yet from winning the title. We really, really are. But I think we can possibly challenge this season because we haven't mounted any kind of title challenge up in the last 7 years. And obviously, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Ferguson's last season. I'm hopeful that we can win a trophy this season under Solskjaer. Obviously, we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. We came obviously close 3 times last season, but close not good enough. And we haven't won a major honour for over 3 years. And that's the first time this has happened in, 31 years. In the entirety of our history, we have won 45 trophies. Obviously, 38 of them trophies came under Sir Alex Ferguson. Obviously, the vast majority of our success came under Ferguson. And like I said, I think it's just going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United or any manager in general to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Alex Ferguson did. We've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. But if things weren't to work out under Solskjaer this season, he was to get sacked, who should come in to replace him. Obviously, the first part of last season when we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, there was talks of obviously Pochettino coming in to replace Solskjaer. Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United before Solskjaer got the job permanently. There was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. But stick with Solskjaer because it is a transition period for Man United and it has been a transition period for a while. We haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers anyway. despite the fact that we have sacked 3 managers since Ferguson's retirement. Obviously, we sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. But in the last 7 years, we haven't only had different managers with different philosophies. We've spent, close to the £1 billion range on players. We've recruited a good 30-odd players in since Ferguson left. And I think a lot of them players who we brought in haven't been the right calibre players for Man United. You could arguably say that, there's some players we brought in who we should have kept. Probably should have kept Ander Herrera, should have kept Romelu Lukaku. Like I mentioned as well, we've extended a lot of players' contracts since Solsjaer came in. I think there's some players we shouldn't have given contracts to, but we did. And there's some players we give contracts to who deserved new contracts. So that's another thing. I think we've still got around 6 or 7 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. So that's something else, we have got to sort out. But like I said, Solskjaer's learned quite a bit since he come to Man United. He has now got that managerial experience behind him. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Obviously, before he was with us, he was at Molde, won a few Norwegian titles with them, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. Enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff, didn't he? The main explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. So, there you go. Don't forget Solskjaer managed the Man United reserve team. And he did watch some of this team at this day and age grow and develop. He really, really did. But like I've said to you before, Solskjaer is inheriting a squad that is worth £700 million, disregarding who he's obviously brought into the club. But we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world, like I said. We've got a fantastic history. Obviously, the club's greatest achievement was 1999. Obviously, when we won the treble. By the way, we was the last team to win 3 back-to-back Premier League to win 3 back-to-back titles. Won it in 07, 08 and 09. Obviously, on my video yesterday, I give you the breaking news on Greenwood and Brandon Williams. Obviously, they've been given new shirt numbers. Mason Greenwood's now being given the number 11. And obviously, Brandon Williams has been given the number 33. Greenwood was obviously 26 last season. And Brandon Williams was 53 last season. Greenwood's going to become the 4th player to play in the number 11. Because before him, we had Martial in number 11. Martial's now 9. We had Adnan Januzaj in 11. And we had Giggs in the 11. I think the last player to play number 33 was actually Paddy McNair. So, yeah, like I said, Williams is going to be wearing this. So, there you go. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.